questions.
Welcome, Yamhill County, to Speaking Frankly. I'm your host, Howie Harkema, and our tagline is, and how we doing? Well, we're doing great today. I have 5 guests with me. Ty James from a family place, Kathie Byers from First Federal, Ron Wolfe from First Federal, John Johnson from Citizens Bank, and Karen Christiansen from the Diaper Bank. And we thank you all for being here. So the first thing is, Ty, how long has a family place been operating now?
Well, our first classroom opened 8 years ago in 2013, right here in McMinnville. And now we have locations in Newburgh and out in Willamina also. So we've really expanded over those 8 years.
And the need for diapers in Yamhill County, what does that look like?
Well, it's really changed with the pandemic. So our need has always been great. Diapers are something that really tax a family that's already living on the edge and struggling with their resources. And as we know, the pandemic has not affected all of us equally. Ones that were really struggling before the pandemic have struggled even more in the midst of this. And what we've seen is that we've been giving out 4 or 5 times as many diapers as we have in past years. So our need has really grown, and we've been really so thankful that the community has been able to help us support families that are struggling during this time.
Would you talk about the relief nursery and how that is a solution and what the risk factors are?
So the Relief Nursery first started in Eugene over 40 years ago. And the concept of a Relief Nursery is really to come around families that are needing extra support. So we do that with primarily 3 resources. So we have a therapeutic classroom for the children to be able to come to twice a week. We have parent education, and we do home visiting. And what we found is that supplying families that are really struggling with these 3 things gives them the support they need to be able to be the kind of parents that they want to be long-term for their children. And also what we've learned as a nation and a country is that if we can invest in early intervention, really targeting children that are very young, it really makes a difference long-term with the outcomes and what we end up investing in an individual that could potentially really struggle in all areas of their life. But if we're able to intervene and give them the support they need and their family needs when they're very young, we can really change the trajectory of that child and do it for much less cost to us as a community. So it's a very exciting program. It really is able to impact not only our wider community, but that individual's life right from the very beginning.
So in McMinnville, would you talk about where you're located?
So we have 3 locations. In McMinnville, we're inside of First Baptist Church. So we rent space from that congregation, and our offices and our classrooms are within that building. And also our diaper bank and our clothing closet is there. In Newburgh, we also partner with a church there. We're on Villa Road. And then out in Willamina, we actually are partnering with the public school and have a location near Willamina High School.
Very good. Is it true that 1 in 3 American families report that they're experiencing a diaper need still? Is that true?
Oh, yes, definitely. It's We're a part of the National Diaper Bank Network, so we partner with diaper banks throughout the whole United States. And families are often having to make choices between what they're going to do as far as paying their rent or, getting food for their family or buying diapers. And so as we're looking at a family that's already really experiencing a high level of stress, when you add into that having to make a choice of maybe making a diaper stretch a little bit longer, you can imagine how that not only stresses the child, but also the parent that's making those choices. So this is a really simple, practical thing that our community can do to help support families and really reduce stress levels, which really impacts the whole family.
Could you talk about the need in diapers in Oregon versus the United States overall?
There's some really good statistics, and maybe I can even send you some links. The National Diaper Bank Network, if you go to their website, you can look and see, and it will give you each state and the specific statistics. But in our state, if a family is needing extra resources for something like diapers, that's not something that's covered on, if they already get something like food stamps or other resources through the state, they wouldn't get money for diapers. So diapers are something that are outside of that. So this is really the only place that somebody who needs that kind of a resource would be able to get it that lives here in Yamhill County.
And with COVID, how do you disperse these diapers safely these days? Is there a protocol?
Yeah, maybe Karen would like to talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
Well,
Hi, Karen.
Hi. We started out with as much social distancing as possible, and not having people come directly to the diaper bank and clothing closet. That we utilize the parking lot at the church to be able to hand that out safely, everyone being masked and so forth. When things started to let up a little bit, they were allowed to come inside the church, but still not downstairs until just the last couple of months. And at this point, what we do is we will allow 2 families at a time into the clothing closet to minimize the contact and try and keep social distancing as much as possible. And the diapers are all prepackaged so that once they tell us what sizes they need, they're already prepackaged. We could just hand them to them and they can go on their way. So minimal exposure.
Karen, how many diapers do you hope to get over the next month or so?
Tons. We go through what, 12 to 15,000 a year.
Wow.
Easily. So that would be nice.
Well, I'm going to move on to the banks now. I'm going to bring up the flyer in just a minute, but I'd like to jump over to Ron Wolfe from First Federal.
Can I just interrupt really quick,
Sure,
Howie?
sure.
Because I was looking, because I was curious how many diapers we gave out last year, because
Yeah.
Karen's right. Typically, we're like kind of, 10, 20,000 we give out. Last year, we gave out 100,000 diapers in our community.
Cool.
So the need has really just boomed, and families that were struggling, we really, instead of before, we were giving out like a 3-day supply for families. But what we were finding is families really couldn't be able to safely go to the grocery store and things, or to the department store, and get these kinds of resources they needed. So we gave out a lot more diapers last year than we ever have. And so we're really trying to build up our stores, and the Banks for the Bank has set a goal of 20,000 diapers, which is much larger than they've ever brought in before. But we're really excited for the community to rally around this.
And that would be great. Because we've
Ron,
added 2 additional locations that were in Yamhill County also.
Thank you, Karen. Ron, participating with a family placed in this issue, your thoughts?
Well, from the bank perspective, it's huge to make this kind of investment and be a resource and an advocate. I always, to come full circle, I always tell everybody in our leadership council meetings for Family Place, and we remind each other these kind of conversations. By the way, thank you for hosting this and getting our message out there. Anytime we can have this conversation and broaden that, it's connecting the dots and connecting people with resources in the community and understanding what this represents and the magnitude of it in terms of how it fosters development and growth, stability in our community and the vibrancy of our community and the people around us. And there's a huge need here, as you're hearing, and just the diapers is one element of that is substantial. So for the bank and our ability to participate and message that for people to come into the bank and are dropping off diapers, and I keep telling everybody here, remind people they can bring them in anytime. And this window is for a specific kind of promoting this right now, but there's always the need. So people can drop off items and diapers whenever. We'll gladly take them and pass those along. So just a friendly reminder if anybody wants to, continue to do that on a regular basis or routine basis, we would love it. And the more we can build on that, the better.
So the duration of time doesn't really count in reality. So people can drop off diapers to any of the banks, even beyond the duration of the event itself.
Well, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I'm going to put John on the spot. Absolutely. We'll gladly be drop-off site. And we want to do that on a routine basis as long as we can and continue to build on that.
I'm going to jump over to Kathie Byers for a moment. Kathie, if somebody wanted to come in and they were uncomfortable in going to the grocery store to get diapers, can they drop off a check or a donation to the bank, and then the money would be spent towards diapers?
Yes, they can make cash or check donations. If it's check, make it out to a family place, because we just take the cash donations and hand them directly over to a family place.
Right.
But better still, we have some flyers out and about. I know you can even go to the firstfedweb.com website, and
right.
There is a link that you can click on, and it takes you to the Amazon wish list, and you can select the size and type of diapers that you want to purchase. And the address is already automatically filled in for you, and they will be delivered here to the home office in McMinnville. And it's super easy. I was at an event on Friday where a couple of people heard my spiel, and in 3 minutes they had purchased diapers and they were on their way to the bank. So
awesome.
Really quick.
Awesome.
Howie, if I can piggyback on that, just to tail off on that.
Yeah.
Anybody that's listening to and contact a family place, we're always talking about sustaining donors. And that can be a couple dollars a month, 5, 10, 15, whatever you feel compelled to do to be connected to the organization on a more permanent basis, and messaging that anybody that's listening, to share the message of what we're talking about here, the impact it has on our community is so significant, and keeping these families connected, engaged with these young children as they're developing is huge. So if anybody feels compelled to give, that helps us build that base and that support network. So there you go.
The sustainable monthly payment would be extremely helpful. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. The more the merrier.
Awesome. John Johnson, Citizens Bank, thank you so much for being here. Would you talk about the need and what you see about a family place and this banks for the bank?
Well, I'll try to address it, Howie. I mean, I've been part of a family place about a year after we got started here in McMinnville, I think. And it probably has some of the greatest impact on keeping families together of any organization I've seen. And the diaper bank is kind of like one of the keystone pieces of it, because it brings the families in. We're donating something that they need, but it kind of gets them in where we can help work with the families too. I mean, it's huge. And if you look at the statistics, I mean, once families get involved, there's about a 99% chance that we're going to keep them all together rather than losing them to foster care. And I've been involved with organizations that work with foster care, and you never want to go there. I mean, if you can avoid it from the beginning, you're so much better off. And our bank, as well as the other banks, recognize that in our communities. And we're just trying to do whatever we can to help out. And so, I know Ron and I are both on the Leadership Council. But the banks, if we can make ourselves available for people to bring diapers over and help promote this organization, I mean, we'll do whatever we can. And like Ron said too, if somebody wants to drop, or Kathie also, if somebody wants to drop off money, or even beyond the October 15th date, they want to bring diapers over, we know where to get them to.
Yeah.
we're happy to help out, and it's so important to the community as far as what this organization does.
Well, I find that this community rallies behind these kinds of events really well. Is that what you guys see from the banks? And Ty, I'd like to also ask you that question as well.
Yeah, we have a team that meets. It's called the Basic Needs Committee. We're always looking for volunteers too. So if somebody wanted to join a committee like that, it's a group that helps put on drives like this, bringing in diapers, but also helps oversee what distribution and volunteer training looks like, really on that ground level in the diaper bank. And that committee just recently decided that we were going to change the amount of diapers that we were giving out, which I mentioned during COVID. We really opened the door and we're giving out much larger amounts than what we had before. But now, since we started seeing people in person, we had changed it back where we were going to our 3-day supply per child per month. But now we're going to be giving out more than that. So as each family comes, they'll be able to get that 3-day supply per child per visit. So just having some flexibility around that. And the reason that our committee made that decision is because we all said, you know what, when we have a need and we're out of a supply, we know we can ask the community, and the community shows up. And that's such a beautiful thing about living in Yamhill County and being a part of a place that you can reach out to, both businesses and individuals, and people say, yes, we want to support each other. And especially the most vulnerable people in our community, which are our children.
Right. Has the News Register article spawned some donations in advance of this beginning as an event?
It definitely helped. One of our volunteers already had to go to a bank and pick up a big load of diapers because they were beyond their capacity. So it's wonderful to get the word out. We're very grateful for the newspaper article.
Well, I'm going to bring up the flyer now, and could you and Kathie please talk about the flyer and the times and all of that kind of thing? So I see more names of banks and credit unions than you have on the roster here as guests today. So
that's correct.
Could you talk about the others, please?
So we're really well represented throughout the whole county. Most banks participate. The only banks that don't are some that have regulations from their corporate office that they're not able to have collection bins in their office. But often those banks are really supporting us in other ways too. So even if your bank's name isn't on this list, doesn't mean that they aren't supporting our organization. But we have First Federal, On Point, Key Bank, First Community Credit Union, Columbia Bank, Chase, Oregon State Credit Union, and Citizens Bank all having a collection bin in their lobby. And it's really exciting, I think, to have all these different organizations working together in partnership.
Oh, absolutely.
There's really some friendly competition, and First Federal does such an amazing job with helping us with their flyers and posters. And they have drop-off locations, I would say, literally in every single one of our communities throughout Yamhill County. Maybe Kathie could talk about that because they stretch, into Carlton. And
yeah, we have 5 communities where we have branches. And I'm not going to try to list them all because for sure I'll forget at least one. But, Carlton, Amity, Newburgh, McMinnville, Sheridan, the big ones. We like to pride ourselves on bringing in the most amount of diapers of all the banks because apparently we're a competitive bank. I don't know, but we have a lot of competitive spirit here in our bank. Last year we brought in almost 8,000 wipes. That's the other thing we haven't mentioned is aside from the diapers, we also would ask that people donate wipes because those are important and get handed out as well. And last year we collected, even with the limitations of COVID, we collected 4,500 diapers and almost 8,000 wipes. And I think that we collected the banks, the whole competition between all of the banks brought in over 10,000 diapers last year. So what else can I tell you? Yeah, you can just drop them off at any of our branches. And I think that's it. Sorry, I feel like I was going to say one other thing, but.
Well, I appreciate that you brought up the wipes, because I didn't know that was part of this, but I do recall that now from 7 years ago. Karen, how is the need for wipes when you give out the diapers as well?
It's so helpful to the families, and it's probably at this point the one thing we run out of first. We break it down into smaller bundles and try and give some wipes to everybody with the supply of diapers. And I think it's a great need, because they frequently are asking for them if we don't automatically give them to them.
And how does clothing go hand in hand with this diaper drive when you give out diapers and wipes?
Well, when the families come in, we have our area of the part of the church that Family Place has. We have quite a range of clothing, everything from newborns. We try and limit it to the smaller children because they go through clothing so fast, and that gets expensive. So we have newborns through usually about size 7 or 8. And we also have some maternity clothing for moms, and that's all through donations. And these families appreciate it. One of the things that I just am amazed is that families, when they come in to bring diapers, frequently will bring us a couple of bags worth of clothes that the kids have outgrown so that somebody else can use them, which is just fantastic, I think.
I remembered the other thing I wanted to mention.
Go ahead.
So here at the bank, to try to inspire our staff to bring in extra diapers, we're having a little internal competition where each branch, and there's a total of 6, are creating diaper sculptures. So Sheridan's branch, they literally built a village. I just saw a picture from the Newburgh branch, and they did a beautiful little fall looking cake style. My department is intending to build a castle. So it's pretty fun to get a little friendly competition going internally to inspire more diaper donations.
Well, that's wonderful that your coworkers are jumping in to make that happen. That made Ron very happy. He's smiling over there. What do you have to say about that, Ron?
It's great to have some internal competition. We got branches going at it, and we're involved. So, yeah, it's a neat way to, bring it in front of mind. Just one quick thing I'll say out of that. I was thinking when my wife and I go to the stores that don't know maybe, but this is what we do. Our kids are grown up, but we can help others. And so we always grab the bag of diapers and the diaper wipes. It brought me back to that we always grab a set to drop off when we go shopping, because it's an easy way to build that into the process and gets us thinking about it. It's always that then a conversation piece with others when we talk about it and sharing that. So, but the wipes were huge. So that's another key element of that, is a reminder to everybody that they need both. We need lots of both.
Karen or Ty, is there a specific day that you actually hand out the diapers and wipes and such? And is there a time frame involved?
Yes, every Thursday from 10 until noon.
From 10 till noon on Thursday.
Unless it's a holiday.
Of course.
And then we try and give out more the week before to get them through.
Very good. John Johnson,
Yeah.
is there any competition at Citizens Bank in your employee group to help sponsor some of this as well?
Well, we really don't have a competition here. We're the only branch in Yamhill County. And
That's
so
true.
So all we're doing is we're just reminding our customers, bringing the diapers. We've already loaded our playpen twice, and I think we're working on our third round of it so far. So we're working at it. We just don't have the kind of competition they have at First Federal.
Totally understand that. Ty, any last things that you'd like to say before we end? Because we have about 1 minute.
Well, we do have our annual fundraising event coming up, our Champions for Children. You can go to a Family Place website to find out more information. It's a great way to participate virtually, so anybody can come to that. It's always so inspiring to be a part of that event. Maybe Ron or John would be able to talk a little bit about that too, just because you get to hear directly from staff and directly from a family that's really been impacted by the mission of this organization on such a personal level. I think it is so inspiring and truly gets you engaged at a different level when you've been able to hear that firsthand impact. So I hope that more people from the community will join in virtually for that event this year.
And is there a specific date and time for that?
Yes, there is. It is on October 16th at 6 p.m.
And it's a Zoom, I assume.
Yep, you can go to our website and register for it. I don't know, maybe Ron, do you know if it's Zoom? I'm not positive the platform they're using.
I'm not sure the platform, but it is virtual. So yeah, once you sign up, you can link
Right.
up, have easy access.
But they'll have auction items. It's usually really fun too. You can order dinner and they'll deliver dinner to your house. So you can, maybe often, we'll get together with a few friends and have our own little small socially distanced party at the house to be able to feel like we're still coming together to celebrate this organization and the work that's being done in our community.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Ty and Karen and John Johnson and Kathie Byers and Ron Wolfe and all of the participants and strategists behind the scenes that have made this happen. It will begin airing probably Wednesday of this week, and then it will go to YouTube after that and Facebook. So thank you very much, all of you, very much. Applause for all of the work that you're doing behind the scenes and in front of the scenes for making this happen.
Thanks, Howie. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Howie. Thanks for all you're doing too.
Oh, I work hard.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's in the background.
We know. Thank you, Howie.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, y'all.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.